just enough to be wild for the evening. We fall apart to start believing. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our hands are reeling, my heart beating like a band. Lift off the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, lost in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love. We build it up with songs of the broken, caught in the rough between us and a moment. I know this fire reaches the corners of my truth. Oh, I am lighter when I'm reflecting you. Tonight I'm all in. I trade my past for something new. I'll let it reach me to see what this can do. Moving, moving, moving. It's moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our hands are reeling, my heart beating like the band. Lift off the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, caught in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love.
Happy Monday morning. I'm glad you're here for this morning encouragement today. We take our morning encouragement from the One Year Bible. If you're reading along in the One Year Bible, you'll know we're in a difficult passage in the area of Jeremiah. Let me just start with that and remind you, Jeremiah is a prophet from God. The only thing he says is a message that comes from God, and then he gives it to the kings around him. I just want to help you understand some of the problems that Jeremiah faced. Most of the messages that get recorded in Jeremiah, as you and I read it, are really, it's not good news at all. It's bad news. He goes to these kings and he tells them, God's not happy with you, and this is not going to go well for you. You've not lived your life right, and there's none of your descendants are going to be there. That's some of the things that he said this time. But almost always, he begins with this warning that says, if you just turn back to God, if you'll just put God first in your life, amazing things will happen. God will honor you if you honor him. That's great advice today. If that's all you get out of Jeremiah, that's a good thing for you to be reminded. God cares about how we live. He's watching us. He's giving us advice every day. And if we'll listen to him and listen to his warnings, he'll keep us out of trouble. So that's what I take out of Jeremiah. Then you skip ahead to 1 Thessalonians, where we've been in 1 Thessalonians. And truthfully, I didn't get a ton out of that. He's talking to some of his co-workers and giving some warnings and some blessings, some greetings, etc. And then you skip to Psalms. And Psalms is another one that normally I just gain so much out of Psalms, but nothing today. I mean, it just didn't really hit me. But today, the passage that hits me comes from Proverbs, and it's good that Proverbs gives us 4 verses. 3 out of the 4 verses really speak to me. I want to talk to you about those 3 things. The first one says this: timely advice is lovely, like golden apples in a silver basket. Now for guys, I'm not sure golden apples in a silver basket speak to us, but for women that decorate around fall time and you think about golden delicious apples and some of the apples that are coming off the trees and sitting out there on the counter and they look so good and delicious, it's like you want to take a bite out of that crisp apple. And I'm reminded today that this is so appropriate. Timely advice. You know, that's why every day of our life, we go to God and we ask God to direct our lives. And when you hear him in your inner mind, in your inner being, I want you to begin to recognize his voice. There's just different times that in this season of my life where he has just given me great advice as to what to do. And it's really helpful. So I encourage you, timely advice. Take a bite out of it, listen to it, and think about what that means for the people in your life. There's people in your life you can really trust, and it's okay to ask for advice. In fact, it's really good. I sat in a group of guys the other day, and one gentleman asked for advice from all the rest of us, and we all kind of thought about what to say, and one person had exactly what needed to be said, and it was so cool to hear that piece of advice and to watch him take that piece of advice. There's somebody in your life that's ready to give you some timely advice. The second thing here, to the one who listens to valid criticism is like a gold earring or other gold jewelry. Again, I kind of think that gold jewelry isn't on the top of my list of what I think about, but gold jewelry on my wife and on others looks really cool. I mean, it looks beautiful. And what he's essentially saying is there's a lot of value in valid criticism. So here's a question. Who do you have in your life that can honestly give you valid criticism? I sat down the other day with a staff person who had a group of people, and they were talking about some things we should say in the future, what we should say, what not to say, and all this, and just gave me some specific advice of what to say and what not to say, and really criticized me for some of the things that I've been repeating too often. I really appreciated that. That valid criticism is going to make my communication better. But that works in every area of our life. That works in taking advice sometimes from your kids, sometimes from your spouse, sometimes from your friends, sometimes from your coworkers, sometimes from your boss. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Valid criticism is an incredible, incredible gift. So, I lost my pin here. Here's the next thing. The third thing. Trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in the summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. I was just thinking, trustworthy messengers. You know what that tells me? Somebody not only you can trust with the secrets of your company, but the secrets of business and all that, but also they're worthy and they're trustworthy in the way they work out, the way they live their lives, everything that's happening. Do you have trustworthy qualities, and do you have some trustworthy people in your life? Again, all three of these are kind of interesting. They kind of encourage us to seek out good advice, to give good advice, to have valid criticism on our life, and also to surround ourselves with people that will give us some really trustworthy advice. So that's the message for the day. I think God has some people in your life ready to talk to you, ready to give you what you need today. And more than anything, you know who wants to talk to you today? And that's God himself, giving you direction for your life today. And that's what you're doing even today by just listening to this daily encouragement, just opening your heart to him today. So let me remind you at the end of my talk here today, one of my favorite verses. In the midst of all this time, let me remind you that God causes all things, everything that happens in your life, to work together for good to those that love him. I love him with all of my heart. I hope you love him. If you don't love him, start loving him today. Amazing things will happen.